Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, dear students? I welcome you in Pakistan International School Types virtual learning class. I welcome you in second year biology class. This is lecture number 14 for the chapter number 16 because we have started in the previous lecture chapter number 16. And now today we are gonna see the topic division of human skeleton. Dear students, yesterday we have studied about the structure of bone and cartilage. That was the part of human skeleton. So today we will see the division of human skeleton, that how many bones and how are present in human beings and how they are divided into different categories. You can see here in the diagram human skeleton, and there are lots of bones you can see here in the diagram. So we know that human skeleton consists of 206 bones, or that is 206 bones. Actually they are 300 when the infant is born. uh, Later on, we know that there are lots of cartilages which are replaced in the form of bones, and there are soft bone also which are merged and which are just overlapped or fixed with one another, and they form one bone. So in adult, these bones are left 206 out of 300. Okay, so this human skeleton is divided into two divisions, two categories: axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. So axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton we will see in a few minutes. So we can see here axial skeleton is having almost 80 bones. You can see here in this structure which form the axis of the body. That is the main on which the whole of the body is depends. So the linear, the axis of the body that is present in the center, that is called axial skeleton. It is having 80 bones, and it includes skull, vertebrae, ribs, sternum, auditory ossicles, and hyoid bones. You can see here skull. Okay, then this these vertebrae or vertebral column, this rib cage, and this is sternum, this one which is in front of the vertebral column. Sternum, the ribs are attached with the sternum, and then we are having auditory ossicles, and then hyoid bone. Where are they present? What is the location of them? We will see in a few minutes. And then there is appendicular skeleton also. It is having 126 bones, and the appendages, these shoulder bones, hip bones, and appendages as well as the limbs are called appendicular skeleton. So in upper portion we are having 64 bones, in which pelvic, a pectoral girdle, this means shoulder bones, and arms and hands are present, and in the lower region 62 bones are present, in which this pelvic girdle as well as legs and feet are included. So now we are gonna see axial skeleton, in which skeletal parts are present which are long along the central axis of the body. You can see this blue one. This all is axial skeleton, and it is having skull, rib cage, vertebral column, ossicles, or the inner ear bones. These are actually the inner ear bones. What are these? We will discuss later on. And that is hyoid bone. So now we are gonna see separately, one by one, uh, the categories of the bones. So first we will see skull or head bones. Head bones, almost there are 29, and which are divided into 4 categories: cranial bones, facial bones, ear ossicles, and hyoid bone. So if you see this one, there are 8 cranial bones, and you can see here, this is cranium, this is a skull. Okay, so in the skull, that face is also like located, but right now we are gonna see them separately. So cranial bones, actually these bones are very soft when the baby is born, so it can be molded into any form, but later on gradually these bones become, they just join from these portions, and when they join they become harder and stiff. So changing of the shape later, after that, it is impossible. So these edges where these bones are joined together, they are called sutures. So we will discuss in the joints topic. So there are bones. This is frontal bone. You can see here, this one is a frontal bone, and this is one only, a sphenoid bone, which is present at your, like around the ear, like before that. Ethmoid bone is also present into the inner part of that, like your ear portion. Then we are having parietal bone. They are 2, that is left and right. Then temporal bone, that is also left and right. These are 2 paired bones, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and then occipital bone, they are unpaired bones. Okay, let's talk about the facial bones. They are 14 in number, and you can see here, these bones are attached to the cranium to form a face. This is cranium, and they are attached with the cranium to, yeah, definitely to make the face. So the 6 paired bones of face are, these are, you can say, we'll start from here. Zygomatic bone, these are called cheekbone as well. Then there are palatine bones, nasal bones, lacrimal bones, that is actually um, lacrimal gland is present, which like over it. So, and then inferior nasal concha, that is also paired left and right. And then maxilla are also 2, because that is separated with the suture, and right and left both are present. So these all are paired bones. Unpaired bones are mandible, that is the lower jaw, maxilla is the upper jaw, and the nasal bone, especially that we can say the central bone of the nose, that is called vomer, which divides the nose into 2 parts from here, from the front. Okay, so cranial bones are 8 and facial bones are 14. Now we see some more head bones. These are ear ossicles. We know there are 3 bones in our ear: malleus, incus, and stapes. Malleus, incus, and stapes. These are 3 bones, inner ear bones, and on both of the ears they are 6 in numbers. Hyoid bone, that is unpaired single bone below the tongue, and that is the only bone in the body which does not have any articulation, not any joint, because it does not move. It helps the tongue, like tongue is attached with this one, and it helps in the movement of the muscles, movement of the larynx. It helps in the movement of the larynx as well, and it helps in the movement of the tongue as well. So it is having this U-shaped bone. So this is one. So 6 and 1, 7 bones are there. Now we will see vertebral column. Now if we see vertebral column, so in human beings, there are 33 vertebrae. You know, this is centipede-like structure that is like joined with some connections, and they form the vertebral column, and inside spinal cord is present because it protects the spinal cord, and it is mainly the articulation of all type of bones in the body. So because it is present under the skull, we can see here along through our coccyx or tailbone, and bones are attached with this, shoulders are attached with this, neck and head is attached with this, pelvic girdle is attached with this, means legs are also attached with this vertebral column. So it is having 33 vertebra. Now it is divided into several categories. The region indicates that where these vertebrae are present, so they are the region of that like portion. For example, in the neck region, you can see this is in the neck region, 7 that is called cervical vertebra, and that is 7 in number. That is indicated by C from cervical, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 cervical vertebra. Even in from very smaller vertebra vertebrate to the largest, that like which is having the longest neck like giraffe, it is also only having 7 cervical vertebrae. Okay, so if we see this one in cervical vertebrae, we can see here 2 main vertebrae. Number 1, C1 and C2. C1 is called atlas and C2 is called axis. Actually, in axis there is a structure that is called dens, and on this axis, this atlas is fitted. When this atlas is fitted, this atlas can rotate in one and other direction, so we can move our neck easily up, down, and on both of the sides. So that is cervical vertebrae. Okay, so let's go to the next one, that in the chest region. The chest region is called thoracic cavity, and in the thoracic cavity we are having 12 vertebrae, and these 12 vertebrae like sternum is attached with this, and 12 ribs are attached with this. So from thoracic, this is T1, T2, and up to T12. And it is having long and large spinous processes, and that is found in the region, chest region. Spinal processes, these are the processes which are the extensions of these, like you can see this one. Okay, this longer one, these are extension which are on the 3 sides, right, left, and from the inner sides to attach the bones, further bones. Okay, we will just go to the next region, that is lumbar region, and that is present in our abdomen region, and they are 5 in number from lumbar, that is L1 and to L5. If we go to down, that is sacrum, and sacrum is where the pelvic girdle is attached, like our back, and pelvic girdle is attached with it, and sacrum articulates with the iliac bone of a hip bone to form back of the pelvic. to the back of the pelvic. When we see its hip joint, then we will see this one, ilium, pubis, and the parts of that bone. Okay, so last portion of this is coccygeal region. This one actually coccygeal region, it is having 4 fused vertebrae. Here 5 fused and 4 fused vertebrae are for to give more more support and the stronger base for our legs, for our hips to sit. So that's why they are here are 4, 5, and the doncoccyx, they are 4 fused vertebrae over there. They are collectively coccygeal vertebrae, that is called coccygeal also, and sacral vertebrae. They are called as pelvic vertebrae because pelvic girdle is like a hip bone is joined with this one. And this is also called a tail bones, which in which 4 vertebrae is present. So the animals which are having tail, they are tail is joined with these vertebrae. Then we'll see a rib cage. So we know that we are having 12 pairs of ribs, and that is the cage actually because all the soft or very, very soft indeed parts are present here, heart and lungs, and that is the protection for that. For the movement of the heart, for inflating and deflation for that one also. So there are 12 pair of ribs, and it provides support for the chest cavity, we know, and there are 3 types of ribs. If we see, the ribs articulate posteriorly with the thoracic vertebrae. Now from here, these are the vertebrae. Okay, this is, and behind this one up to here, the vertebrae are passing, and this whole region up to here, that is called thoracic vertebrae. Okay, from here, from where the first rib is joined from the back. From back, it is joint from the front, it is fixed with the front, that is called sternum, and its last edged portion, that is called xiphoid process, and this is called sternum. These ribs are joined with this cartilage, with this sternum. So there are 3 types of ribs. Some are true ribs, some are false ribs, and some are floating ribs. Now we'll see that here the ribs which are completely joined together from rib 1 to rib 7, they are called true ribs. But the ribs which are not directly joined, they are indirectly joined, because from ribs 8th to 12th, 8 to 12th, they are not completely joined, but they are 8th, 9th, and 10th actually. So they are false ribs because they are joined with one articulation, means from here they are joined with one costal cartilage. These are called costal cartilages, and then later on they join to the sternum. There are 11 and 12, they are called floating ribs because from back they are joined, like from vertebrae they are joined, but thoracic vertebrae from 11th and 12th, that is joint, but from the front they are not complete, they are almost half circles, so that's why they are called floating ribs. Let's talk about appendicular skeleton. It includes pectoral girdle, pelvic girdle, forelimbs and hind limbs. You can see the bluish one. This upper portion, that is called pectoral girdle, shoulder bones, and these are called forelimbs. and this is called pelvic girdle, and these are called hind limbs. So you can see different categories of them. So in pectoral girdle and upper limb, we will see one by one. It consists of 64 bones, and first we'll see upper portion, that is called pectoral girdle. And if you see, there are two types of bones. Number one is collar bone, that is called clavicle, and number two is shoulder blade, that is called scapula. You can see this one is a broad blade like structure. It is joined with the ribs, and you can see here from the back, as well as this clavicle is joined from this sternum, as well as it is joined from the vertebrae from the back. Then the clavicle and scapula are paired, so they are two bones, but now two twos are four. There are four bones all in all. So if we talk about arms, so there are three bones in the arms. We know that is humerus, radius, and ulna. Radius is outer one, and ulna is inner one. We can say this is a thumb, so radius is at the thumb side, and this is ulna in the inner side. So this is humerus. And this humerus is it is having this circular head, which is joined with the shoulder bone with the glenoid cavity. This is cup-like cavity. That's why this this arm can rotate around and round in that one. That's why like this. This is called ball and socket joint. Then we will see that radius and ulna are joined with the two articulations here, and so all in all, there are three in one arm, so three in other, so six bones are there. So in hands, 27 bones are there. 8 are in the carpal. Carpal is your wrist bones. Wrist bones, which are made up of two layers of short bones, and they are called carpals. The upper row articulates with the radius and forms the wrist joint. So from here it joins with the radius and ulna. Ulna. Okay, so next one is we can have the fingers and our palm. So metacarpals make the palms, and that is called metacarpal. And then we are having phalanges. So metacarpals are 5 because they just continue to the 5 fingers, and phalanges are 14 in number. You can see here 1 2 1 2 3 4. So these are metacarpals and these are phalanges. So phalanges are 3 in every finger, and thumb there are 2 joints, so 2 phalanges. So there are all in all 27. Now we'll see pectoral, pelvic girdle and lower limb. It consists of pelvic girdle, thighs, lower leg, and foot. So we will see here, this is actually the structure of pelvic girdle. So you can see here this large blade like on both of the sides, that is ilium. So here inside, that is vertebrae. There are 5 fused sacral vertebrae, and these are 4 fused coccygeal vertebrae. So this portion is called pubis, which is a joint with one another with cartilage. That joint is called symphysis. We will discuss in joint points, joint topic. Ischium, this is also the lower bone, and this is very broad to help us in sitting. Then we are having 3 more bones like we are having in arms. So this is femur. This femur is having the head like that humerus, but it is joined. This cavity is called acetibulum. Acetibulum, and Then this femur is joined with this. Femur is actually the longest and strongest bone of the body, because our feet and whole of the body depends on this bone to stand upright. Then when we come to the lower region, there is tibia and fibula. Tibia and fibula. Tibia is the longer and the strong and longer one, and thick one, and fibula is a smaller one, which is on tibia is on our thumb toe side, and that is our little finger side. Okay, like that. Okay, so the wrist bones of the hand are called carpals, but here they are called tarsals. They are 7 in numbers, and this portion is help because it is not present here. This helps for the articulation and movement of our it gives the position to our feet. Then metatarsals, there are 5 bones, and then like hands, like phalanges in the hands, in the feet, they are also 14. So you can see here in the pelvic girdle the complete structure. This is acetabulum, where femur is a joint, and this is also ball and socket joint. This one is pubis, which is joined here by pubic symphysis, and this is ischium, and this one is ilium, the largest part. Okay, where the most of the muscles are joint. Dear students, this is a summary of the human skeleton. You can just learn very easily from that how many bones are present. We can look a summary and overlook of that. Exoskeleton is having 80 bones, and appendicular skeleton is having 120 bones. Then we can see all the numbers which are distributed very clearly here. So dear students, I hope you understood the lecture. Wish you all the best. Inshallah, we will see you in the next lecture.